Hey beautiful, it's Reese here, and today I'm going to talk to you about how to be a leader. And being a leader is such an inner game. Like, I can't even explain to you how much being a leader is what you see behind the scenes. So most people look at a leader and they say, oh my God, this person has hundreds or thousands of people following them. It has people signing up for their courses, going to their speaking events, buying their books, whatever it is. That is what a leader is. Because of that, most people focus on the outside things to become a leader. They say, well, I just got to write a book. I just got to get a following. I just got to get an audience. And that is what's going to make me a leader. And that is actually completely backwards and completely wrong. If you want to become a really strong leader, it starts on the inside. It starts from how you see yourself. And for me, becoming a leader has really come from me developing a thick skin, getting clear on what it is that I really want, recognizing the importance of my opinion in myself, and also being prepared to commit fully to my dream, commit fully to being of value, and also taking big, huge, scary risks. Most people don't realize, but in order for someone to become a leader, they would have had to take a very big jump. You don't just pop out of the womb becoming a leader. Things have to happen. And so for me to become a leader, it came from me overcoming my fears, making big investments in myself with no proof of how they would work out, with me looking out and hoping for a role model and realizing that, if I don't see that role model out there, I have to become it. And it really also came from doing the work, fully committing to being the best at what it is that I wanted to do. What you see from me on social media and videos, that's like the end of everything. But let me tell you a little bit more about how it started. So when I was growing up in my teenage years, my mom was in a really abusive relationship. And there'd be times where I'd come home from school and her boyfriend at the time, her ex now, thank goodness, would yell at me for hours saying how stupid I was or dumb I was or whatever it was because I left a cereal box open. And one thing, the cereal box left open, one little thing would roll and snowball into him being mad and upset about hundreds of thousands of things. And I remember sitting there having to listen to him rant and go on and on and on about whatever the F he had to talk about that day. And in the back of my head, I'm thinking, like, what is he even talking about? I have homework to do. I have things to do. This isn't fair. Growing up in that situation really made me realize that what other people say about you isn't actually what is true about you. Seeing my mom, somebody that I grew up with who was fun and would laugh all the time and was full of play and, just was such my role model, go from being this light that she was into not seeing her worth anymore because of what somebody else's opinion was of her, completely shifted how I looked at the world. And it made me realize that first and foremost, nobody else's opinion of you matters more than your opinion of you. And of course, because of that situation that I lived in, I still had so much insecurity, so much self-doubt. I had to do so much mindset work and so much personal work to get to the point where I am now of the confidence. But it really just showed me the polarity in every single situation that we go through. And this is one of the things that I really want to instill in you if you want to become a leader. When you start moving forward in whatever it is that you're going to lead with, people aren't always going to understand you. They're not always going to get it. But it's important that if you have a mission, if you want to do good in this world, if you want to change and disrupt the way people look at the world, if you want to do something bigger than yourself, then not everyone around you is going to understand you. I've had people say, because one of the things that I teach and one of the things that I work on with the subconscious mind is hypnotherapy. But people say that hypnotherapy is negative, is evil. I've had people people say that NLP is manipulative, but all of these things are tools, and you can use a tool for good and you can use a tool for bad. You can use a knife to spread Nutella on your toast. You can also use a knife to hurt someone. And so as you're moving through these things, you have to have a thick skin. One of the things that I also really did was I committed to doing the work, right? I didn't just assume or expect that I should have it all or I should have it easy. I didn't expect to fill my classrooms and fill my audience with people having not done the work. I committed to taking courses, to reading books, to studying, to creating my own perspectives on things so that I could really, really offer something of value. And I learned not just from courses and books, but also from my past experiences. Even in jobs that I worked in that I didn't like my retail job, when I would show up to my retail job every single day, I fully committed to doing the best that I could do. And that's why I kept moving up and getting raises and moving forward. And that's also why I became such a great salesperson there, which helped me with sales now, because I didn't selectively decide to be a leader. I decided that if I'm going to be a leader, I'm going to be that in every area of my life, no matter where it is that I show up. Later on, when I moved into a tech job, I was in customer service, but I quickly got promoted and moved up to launch a new branch of the business. That didn't happen by mistake, and it didn't happen because I was a favorite. It happened because I was committed to being a leader, even when it scared me, even when it was shy, even when it was uncomfortable to share my opinion. I did what I thought was best for the customer. I did what I thought was best for the role that I was in. And because of deciding to be a leader in every single situation that I was in, despite the fear, that's what actually helped me propel myself to becoming a leader, doing my own thing now. When you become a leader, you need to understand that there's so much inner work. You need to think about what is your purpose and what is your vision, because every great leader has a vision and holds a vision for what they're going to create for the world. And when they have that vision and they hold that vision becomes bigger than other people's opinions of them. That vision becomes bigger than any fear. That vision becomes bigger than having to commit and do that work. That vision is what they're here to do, because they know that when they fulfill that vision, they're going to leave a legacy. I remember I got to this moment in my life where I had this dream to start Yes Supply. It was in my head, surrounding my head, kind of poking and prodding me, reminding me what a great vision I could create, even though I hadn't seen any examples of anyone doing anything like this. But this vision of building Yes Supply and making it something great and inspiring people around the world and showing them that no matter what they had gone through, they could create the vision that they wanted for their life and live from that place until it manifested into the reality. That was what kept me going. And one big thought that I had that really shifted it all for me was when I was reflecting on how I grew up. I grew up always feeling really different from everyone else. I was often bullied. I was one of the only people of color in my elementary school. I just always felt like the odd person out. And then even with working in the fashion industry for a bit and for a long time valuing what other people thought about my looks and other people thought about my weight more than what I valued myself as, at one moment I looked back and I said, if I have gone through all of this pain and all of this suffering and all of this feeling ostracized and I do nothing with it, then that means I went through it all for nothing. If I went through all of this and I just stick to keeping quiet and just working a job that I'm not passionate about and not really building something that changes the world, then I went through all of that for nothing. But if I decide to take my learnings and I build a team that sees our values and sees our vision and I move forward to create something huge, then I didn't go through all of that for nothing. I went through all of that as a sacrifice to be able to change not just the people who are alive today, but also for generations to come. And because of that, that's what gave me the courage to get outside of my comfort zone. I used to be super afraid of public speaking. I started to go to Toastmasters. I used to never have money and be constantly broke. And I invested thousands and thousands of dollars in myself, in my education, and I still am to this day. I'm always taking risks and doing things that scare me. And often people don't really understand me. They don't understand the things things that I do, or they don't see the reason, the greater vision behind what it is that I'm doing. But I realize that as a leader, sometimes when you're a leader, it can be kind of a lonely path because, not everyone is willing to do what it takes to get there. There's only a very few amount of people who will understand and a very few amount of people who will stick by your side. But when you keep moving through that and you get to the end and you've accomplished what it is that you wish to accomplish and you've changed the lives that you've wished to change, and you can look back on your life and say, wow, and I didn't wait for a hero to save me. I decided to become my own hero. When you can look back and say that, then you will be so pleased and so happy and so grateful for all of the pain and all of the things that you had to overcome. So that's a little bit of insight into becoming a leader. Again, it's not always a walk in the park, but what it is you deciding that you're going to be a warrior, you deciding that you're going to do what it takes. And what happens too when you commit to that bigger vision is that you get the energy, you get more energy than anyone around you. You get more energy to fulfill that because spirit and the universe is working through you to bring to fruition the vision that it would like to see in the world. And it blesses you and it blesses everyone around you who is creating that positive outcome that's going to take us all to the next level. So if this inspired you in any way to pursue your vision to become a leader, to overcome whatever it is that you've gone through, and recognize that anyone who's ever told you no, or any obstacle that's ever felt like a no, is never a no. It's just a source of more knowledge for you that you can stand upon to go ahead and create your yes. If this helped you in any way, leave me down a comment below. Make sure to share it with a friend. Hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you get notified when more videos come out from me. And I am so excited to see you in the next video.